Freddy had a kid. Freddy had a kid.
Has an Elm Street. Forever!
Hi, and welcome to another film review. This time I'll be discussing the 1991 horror film Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, directed by Rachel Talalay, the sixth and last installment in the formal series. The premise is that 10 years after the events of A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Freddy Krueger has killed nearly all of the children and teenagers in Springwood, except one, John Doe. Freddy allows John to escape Springwood in order to bring him his daughter that was taken from him earlier, but also to access new teenagers and continue his reign beyond the town. Krueger's daughter may be the key to his destruction once and for all. Although there are people out there that are huge fans of this one and find enjoyment in it, I'll have to be honest and say that this is an absolute terrible sequel, and it's a disappointing way to go out. It appears that there was no quality control whatsoever in terms of the script, and it's hard to believe the green light was given to proceed with this as the final product. I realise this was Rachel Talalay's chance of being given a go at directing a movie in this franchise, but what was she thinking? One source stated that she felt Nightmare 5 went too dark. In hindsight, which is always a wonderful thing, they should have proceeded with one of the earlier ideas. One of the initial scripts was to have the Dream Warriors return to somehow aid Jacob after his mother is killed. Another idea from Peter Jackson was to have the kids purposely fall asleep and to go into the dream world to beat up a weakened Freddy before he regained his powers. Either of those ideas, in my opinion, would have been better than what we got. One huge criticism in this installment was that there were only 3 deaths. This is meant to be a slasher movie, and the audience expects a certain number of deaths. The 4 teenage characters introduced of Spencer, John, Tracy, and Carlos are not very memorable compared to those in Dream Warriors, or even the Dream Master for that matter. They simply have one particular trait about them, and no effort is really put into developing them further. Their acting doesn't help, and at least in parts 3 and 4 had characters you actually gave a shit about. Even Maggie, played by Lisa Zane, isn't any better. The decision by the director to insert numerous cameos throughout the film, I thought, was a sign that it didn't have much going for it. We see Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold, and then a scene with Johnny Depp appearing in a public service announcement on television. It all came across as trying to carry the audience along rather than adding anything meaningful. The comical nature and tone of Freddy's Dead is where the film really falls apart for me. You're laughing at what's going on in a negative sense instead of being frightened. Freddy riding around on a broomstick saying, "I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul too," showed how low the franchise had sunk. Then you've got Freddy dancing around Carlos in the boiler room, and the power glove scene with Spencer. None of it felt like a Nightmare on Elm Street. The particular ways in which the characters die are also rather dull and hardly anything to be in awe of. Spencer falling into a hole, and John landing on a bed of spikes reminded me of something out of a Roadrunner cartoon. Freddy's Dead also strays away from the rules of the series, where historically Krueger can only manipulate and control the dream world. Here, reality suddenly changes around the characters, which didn't make much sense. Then you've got Springwood, where all of the adults are suffering from psychosis, yet no one from the neighbouring cities has bothered to investigate or remove them for treatment. We do get some more backstory of Freddy Krueger, his childhood and upbringing, which was okay, but it didn't really change my opinion of the film as a whole. The dream demons that give Freddy his power also came across as cheap looking, almost like something a child drew. Although the movie was quite bad, there were some positives I did manage to find. One was a good soundtrack featuring songs from the Goo Goo Dolls, Iggy Pop, and Chub Rock. Yaphet Kotto gives the best acting performance as Doc, the counsellor and dream specialist. He gives Freddy's Dead a little more weight than it would otherwise have had. I also like the weapons locker at the youth shelter with all the confiscated items that are later used in the final battle with Freddy. It was also a nice touch getting to see some of the different glove weapons Freddy has in his house. Well, that's my review of Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Thanks very much for listening, and have a great day.